Being real is about stepping into the world as your truest self, without the masks and facades that society often encourages us to wear. It means embracing the fullness of who you are, your strengths, weaknesses, successes, and failures without apology or pretense. To be real is to accept that you are a work in progress and that being imperfect is not only okay, but inherently human. It is a commitment to living authentically, aligned with your values and rooted in self-awareness. At its heart, being real starts with honesty. This honesty is twofold. It involves being truthful with yourself and being truthful with others. With yourself, it means acknowledging your fears, desires, limitations, and dreams without judgment. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing not just your accomplishments and strengths, but also the parts of you that you might wish to hide or change. It is a practice of radical self-acceptance that says, I am enough as I am. This doesn't mean you abandon personal growth. Rather, it allows you to grow from a place of wholeness rather than a need to prove your worth. Being real with others means presenting yourself as you are, not as you think you should be. It involves vulnerability, letting others see the parts of you that aren't polished or perfect. Vulnerability can feel risky because it opens the door to rejection or misunderstanding, but it is also the key to deep and meaningful connections. When you share your authentic self with others, you create space for them to do the same. Relationships built on authenticity are stronger because they are grounded in truth rather than illusion. Society often makes being real a challenge. From an early age, we are taught to conform to certain standards and expectations, how to look, how to act, and what to achieve. These external pressures can lead us to hide our true selves in favor of fitting in. Social media amplifies this, presenting us with curated versions of others' lives that can make us question our own worth. Against this backdrop, choosing to be real is an act of courage. It is saying, I refuse to shrink myself to fit into someone else's mold. Being real is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. Authenticity is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It will look different for everyone, because each of us has a unique set of experiences, values, and perspectives. What's important is that your words, actions, and choices align with who you truly are. When you are authentic, you are not pretending to be someone else to gain approval or avoid conflict. Instead, you are living in alignment with your inner truth, even when it is uncomfortable. To live authentically, you must also let go of the need for constant approval. Being real means understanding that not everyone will like or accept you, and that's okay. Your worth is not determined by external validation. When you prioritize authenticity over approval, you give yourself the freedom to live unapologetically and pursue the things that truly matter to you. However, being real does not mean being unfiltered or inconsiderate. Authenticity should always be coupled with kindness and respect. Being true to yourself doesn't give you a license to disregard the feelings or boundaries of others. It is about finding a balance between honesty and empathy, ensuring that your authenticity uplifts rather than harms. Being real is a journey, not a destination. There will be moments when fear or doubt creeps in, and you may feel tempted to retreat behind the safety of a facade. In those moments, remind yourself that being real is worth the risk. It allows you to live a life that feels true to who you are, rather than one dictated by societal expectations. It enables you to connect with others in ways that are genuine and fulfilling. And most importantly, it gives you the freedom to be at peace with yourself. Authenticity, while deeply rewarding, is not without its challenges. Choosing to live authentically often requires immense courage because it involves vulnerability, self-awareness, and a willingness to stand apart from societal norms. At its core, authenticity is about aligning our actions, words, and decisions with our true selves. However, the journey to achieve and maintain this alignment is often fraught with obstacles. One of the primary challenges of authenticity is the fear of judgment. As social beings, we are wired to seek acceptance and belonging. This can make it difficult to show parts of ourselves that might not conform to societal standards or the expectations of those around us. The fear of being misunderstood, criticized, or even rejected can lead many to hide their true selves, choosing instead to present a version they believe will be more palatable to others. This fear is not unfounded. People who are unapologetically themselves often face scrutiny or pushback, especially in environments that value conformity over individuality. Another significant challenge lies in self-doubt. Being authentic requires a deep understanding of who we are, our values, beliefs, and desires. However, Many people struggle to truly know themselves. Societal influences, cultural norms, and even familial expectations can cloud our sense of identity, leaving us questioning what is genuinely ours versus what has been imposed upon us. This internal confusion can make it difficult to confidently express our true selves. The journey to authenticity often requires peeling back layers of conditioning, which can be both time-consuming and emotionally taxing. Living authentically also demands vulnerability, which can feel incredibly risky. To be authentic is to expose your true self to the world, imperfections and all. It means sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences without the safety net of pretense. Vulnerability can feel like standing on a stage without a script, open to the possibility of criticism or rejection. This is especially challenging in a culture that often equates vulnerability with weakness. Many people fear that showing their authentic selves will make them appear less competent, less likable, or less valuable. Social media and modern technology add another layer of complexity to the challenge of authenticity. Platforms designed for connection often encourage curated versions of reality, where only the best, most polished moments are shared. This can create an environment where authenticity feels less valued than perfection. Comparing oneself to these idealized portrayals can lead to feelings of inadequacy, further discouraging people from embracing their true selves. The pressure to perform on social media can erode authenticity, replacing it with a carefully constructed image designed to attract validation and approval. The challenge of balancing authenticity with societal roles and responsibilities is another significant hurdle. Many of us wear different hats in life: parent, partner, employee, friend, and each of these roles comes with its own set of expectations. While being authentic doesn't mean abandoning these roles, it does require navigating the tension between meeting external expectations and staying true to ourselves. For example, an individual may feel pressured to suppress their personal beliefs in a professional setting, or to compromise their values to maintain harmony in a relationship. These compromises, while sometimes necessary, can make authenticity feel like a luxury rather than a choice. Additionally, being authentic often means standing out, and standing out can be uncomfortable. In environments where conformity is rewarded, authenticity can make you feel isolated or even ostracized. This is particularly true for individuals who challenge deeply ingrained cultural or societal norms. The courage to express an identity belief or lifestyle that deviates from the mainstream can come with significant emotional and social costs. Finally, the process of maintaining authenticity is ongoing. It's not a one-time decision, but a daily practice that requires constant self-reflection and adjustment. Life circumstances change, and so do we. Remaining authentic means continuously checking in with ourselves to ensure that our actions and choices still align with our evolving values and identity. This level of introspection can be exhausting, especially in a fast-paced world that often prioritizes productivity over self-awareness. Despite these challenges, the rewards of authenticity make the journey worthwhile. It allows us to live more fulfilling lives, build genuine connections, and experience the profound freedom that comes from being true to ourselves. However, it is essential to acknowledge and prepare for the obstacles along the way, understanding that the path to authenticity, though difficult, leads to a life of greater meaning and integrity. Authenticity is a journey of self-expression and alignment, but it is not an excuse for recklessness or a lack of consideration for others. To be truly authentic, there must be a balance and integration of honesty with kindness, vulnerability with boundaries, and self-expression with empathy. This balance allows authenticity to flourish in a way that is constructive and meaningful, fostering deeper connections while respecting the diverse perspectives of others. One aspect of this balance is understanding that authenticity is not synonymous with being unfiltered or blunt. While it is essential to speak your truth, how you communicate it matters. Being authentic doesn't mean saying everything that comes to mind without regard for the feelings or circumstances of others. Instead, it involves expressing yourself in a way that is both honest and compassionate. For example, if you need to provide feedback or share a difficult truth, doing so with sensitivity and tact ensures that your authenticity uplifts rather than harms. The goal is not to suppress your thoughts or feelings, but to share them in a way that aligns with your values and fosters understanding. Authenticity also requires balancing vulnerability with boundaries. Sharing your true self often involves being open about your experiences, emotions, and struggles. This vulnerability can create meaningful connections, as it allows others to see you as you are, imperfections and all. However, it is equally important to recognize that not every situation or person warrants full transparency. Setting boundaries around what, when, and with whom you share ensures that your authenticity doesn't leave you feeling overexposed or unsafe. Knowing where to draw the line is an act of self-care that protects your emotional well-being while still allowing you to engage authentically. Another dimension of balance and authenticity is respecting the individuality of others. Being true to yourself does not mean imposing your beliefs or values on those around you. Authenticity is about embracing your unique identity while also honoring the diversity of perspectives and experiences that make up the world. This balance requires empathy, the ability to understand and respect how others may differ from you. For instance, while you may feel strongly about certain principles or preferences, remaining open-minded and non-judgmental ensures that your authenticity coexists harmoniously with that of others. Authenticity also involves balancing personal growth with self-acceptance. Being real requires embracing yourself as you are, but it doesn't mean resigning yourself to your current state indefinitely. It is possible to celebrate your unique qualities while also striving for growth and improvement. For example, you might acknowledge that you have a tendency to procrastinate, while simultaneously working on developing better time management skills. This balance prevents authenticity from becoming an excuse for complacency. Instead, encourages a dynamic relationship with yourself, where you honor your strengths and work on your weaknesses. In relationships, authenticity must be balanced with mutual respect and collaboration. Being true to yourself doesn't mean disregarding the needs or boundaries of others. For instance, in a friendship or partnership, it's important to communicate your feelings honestly, while also considering how your words and actions affect the other person. This balance ensures that your authenticity strengthens the relationship rather than creating conflict or misunderstanding. It's about finding common ground where both parties feel seen, heard, and valued. Another critical aspect of balanced authenticity is adaptability. While it's vital to stay true to your core values and identity, life often presents situations that require flexibility. For example, your professional role may call for a more formal demeanor than your personal life. Balancing authenticity with situational awareness doesn't mean being inauthentic, rather. It means adapting your expression to fit the context while staying true to your underlying principles. This approach allows you to navigate different environments without compromising your sense of self. Finally, authenticity involves balancing inner alignment with external action. It's not enough to simply know your truth, you must also act on it in a way that reflects your values. For instance, if you value honesty, this should be evident in how you conduct yourself, from your personal relationships to your professional endeavors. However, this alignment should be pursued thoughtfully, with consideration for the impact of your actions on others and the world around you. In essence, authenticity is about harmony. It's a dynamic interplay between being true to yourself and engaging with the world in a way that is thoughtful, respectful, and constructive. This balance allows authenticity to thrive, creating a life of integrity and connection while fostering understanding and growth in those around you. By embracing this nuanced approach, authenticity becomes not just a personal value, but a bridge that unites us with others in meaningful and transformative ways. The legacy of authenticity is one that echoes through generations, leaving a lasting impact on both individuals and society. It's not just about living truthfully in the present moment, it's about creating a ripple effect that shapes the future. When we choose to live authentically, we lay the foundation for others to do the same, fostering a culture where authenticity is not only valued but celebrated. The legacy of authenticity is one of empowerment, connection, and transformation that can influence how we view ourselves, our relationships, and the world. At the personal level, the legacy of authenticity begins with the way we live our lives. By embracing our true selves and consistently acting in alignment with our values, we set an example for others to follow. Our authenticity can inspire those around us to take off their own masks and show up as they are, without fear of judgment or rejection. When we make the courageous decision to live authentically, we help create an environment where vulnerability is welcomed, imperfections are accepted, and individuality is cherished. This encourages others to reflect on their own lives and consider whether they are living in alignment with their true selves, sparking a chain reaction that can shift cultural norms towards greater authenticity. Moreover, the legacy of authenticity is not just about living authentically ourselves, but also encouraging others to do the same. As we model authenticity, we offer a safe space for others to explore their own identities. Whether in friendships, workplaces, or communities, authenticity nurtures environments where people feel empowered to express themselves honestly. This empowerment can create stronger, more resilient connections, as relationships founded on authenticity are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. The legacy of authenticity, in this sense, is the creation of networks of people who encourage and support each other in their authentic expression. These connections foster a deeper sense of belonging and can counteract feelings of isolation, making authenticity not just a personal choice, but a communal experience. The influence of authenticity extends beyond interpersonal relationships and into larger societal structures. As more individuals choose to live authentically, there is a collective shift toward more honest and inclusive spaces. Authenticity challenges the status quo, dismantling harmful stereotypes and social expectations that limit individuals from fully expressing themselves. For example, when people live authentically by embracing their cultural heritage, gender identity, or personal beliefs, they contribute to a broader societal conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This fosters a culture that celebrates differences rather than forces conformity. The legacy of authenticity, then, is the evolution of societal norms to be more accepting, inclusive, and respectful of individual differences. In the realm of leadership, the legacy of authenticity is particularly powerful. Authentic leaders are those who lead with transparency, integrity, and vulnerability. They are willing to admit their mistakes, share their personal stories, and act in alignment with their values, which fosters trust and loyalty in their followers. Authentic leadership leaves a lasting mark because it creates a culture of openness and empathy where others feel encouraged to bring their whole selves to the table. This type of leadership not only drives success in organizations, but also shapes future leaders who value authenticity as a core principle. The ripple effect of authentic leadership extends into communities, workplaces, and entire industries, creating a legacy of trust, collaboration, and ethical behavior. Additionally, the legacy of authenticity has a transformative power that reaches across time. When individuals live authentically, they contribute to the collective story of human experience. The stories of those who have bravely embraced their true selves, whether it's in art, activism, or everyday life, serve as inspiration for future generations.
The work of authentic trailblazers in history has often led to social change, from the civil rights movement to the LGBTQ rights movement, demonstrating how living authentically can disrupt outdated systems and create a more just society.
These stories leave a blueprint for others to follow, showing that living truthfully can lead to meaningful, lasting change. The ultimate legacy of authenticity is the way it enables us to leave the world in a better place than we found it. By living true to ourselves, we create a culture where individuality is not only accepted but embraced, where vulnerability is viewed as strength, and where connections are built on honesty and mutual respect. Authenticity challenges us to think beyond ourselves and contribute to the greater good, shaping a world that values truth, integrity, and compassion. In this way, the legacy of authenticity is not just personal, it's global. It creates a world where people are free to be who they truly are, and in doing so, they leave a legacy that benefits generations to come. The impact of authenticity ripples far beyond the individual. When someone chooses to live authentically, it not only transforms their personal experience, but also influences their relationships, community, and the broader world. Authenticity inspires connection, fosters trust, and creates an environment where others feel empowered to be themselves. It is a powerful force for change, capable of reshaping how we live and interact with one another. For the individual, authenticity brings a profound sense of freedom. When you live authentically, you shed the weight of trying to conform to expectations that don't align with who you are. This liberation allows you to channel energy into pursuits that genuinely resonate with your values and passions. The internal peace that comes from authenticity cannot be overstated. It replaces self-doubt with self-confidence and fear of judgment with self-acceptance. By aligning your actions with your true self, you create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, one where you can fully embrace and express your individuality. Authenticity also enhances emotional well-being. Living authentically means being honest about your feelings, which can prevent the emotional exhaustion that comes from pretending to be someone you're not. It encourages openness and vulnerability, allowing you to process emotions more healthily. When you accept yourself as you are, you're less likely to experience the anxiety that often accompanies the need to constantly seek external validation. Instead, you develop a sense of inner stability and self-worth that isn't easily shaken by others' opinions. On a relational level, authenticity strengthens connections. When you show up as your true self, you invite others to do the same. Authenticity fosters genuine relationships because it eliminates the barriers created by pretense and fear. People are drawn to honesty and vulnerability because it feels real and relatable. Sharing your authentic self builds trust, as others can sense when your words and actions come from a place of sincerity. These deeper, more meaningful connections are far more rewarding than relationships based on facades or surface-level interactions. In professional settings, authenticity can be transformative. Leaders who are authentic inspire loyalty and respect because they model integrity and transparency. Employees are more likely to feel valued and understood when their leaders are approachable and genuine. Authenticity in the workplace also encourages innovation and creativity, as individuals feel safe to share their ideas and perspectives without fear of judgment. A culture of authenticity fosters collaboration and trust, which can lead to greater overall success for an organization. The impact of authenticity extends to society as well. When individuals embrace and express their true selves, they challenge the status quo and encourage greater acceptance of diversity. Authenticity has the power to break down stereotypes and foster inclusivity, as it celebrates individuality rather than conformity. By living authentically, people demonstrate that there is no single way to live, succeed, or find happiness. This can inspire others to question limiting beliefs and societal norms, paving the way for a more open and accepting world. Authenticity also serves as a catalyst for positive change. People who live authentically are more likely to advocate for causes that align with their values, as they are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. Their courage can inspire others to do the same, creating a collective movement toward justice, equality, and understanding. Authenticity can be a unifying force, as it reminds us of our shared humanity while honoring the unique experiences that make us who we are. On a personal level, living authentically often leads to greater resilience. When you are true to yourself, you develop a strong sense of identity that helps you navigate challenges and setbacks. You learn to trust your instincts and stand firm in your beliefs, even in the face of adversity. This resilience, in turn, inspires others, showing them that it is possible to overcome difficulties without compromising their authenticity. Finally, authenticity leaves a lasting legacy. When you choose to live authentically, you show others that imperfection is not a flaw but a part of being human. You demonstrate that vulnerability is a strength and that honesty is the foundation of meaningful relationships. Your authenticity becomes an example for others, encouraging them to embrace their own truth and live more fully. The impact of authenticity is not just felt in the present moment but continues to resonate long after, shaping lives and communities in ways that are profound and enduring. Becoming more authentic is a journey that requires intentionality, self-reflection, and courage. While the path may be challenging at times, it is also deeply rewarding. Living authentically means aligning your actions, thoughts, and words with your true self, and there are practical steps you can take to cultivate this way of being in your daily life. The first step to being real is self-awareness. To live authentically, you must understand who you are at your core, your values, beliefs, passions, and boundaries. This process begins with honest self-reflection. Set aside time to ask yourself meaningful questions: what truly matters to me? What brings me joy? What are my strengths and weaknesses? Consider journaling your thoughts to gain clarity or seeking feedback from trusted friends and mentors who know you well. Developing self-awareness helps you distinguish between what feels true to you and what may have been shaped by external pressures or expectations. Another essential step is cultivating self-acceptance. Being real requires embracing yourself fully, including the parts you may view as flaws or imperfections. Instead of striving to fit into societal molds, practice affirming that you are enough as you are. Self-acceptance doesn't mean stagnation. It means approaching personal growth from a place of love and respect for yourself, rather than from a sense of inadequacy. This mindset allows you to explore your potential while remaining grounded in your authentic self. Setting boundaries is also crucial to living authentically. When you prioritize being true to yourself, you recognize the importance of protecting your energy and well-being. Boundaries help you say no to situations, commitments, or relationships that don't align with your values or bring out your best self. They also create space for the things and people that matter most to you. Establishing and maintaining boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to prioritizing others' expectations, but it's an essential step in honoring your authenticity. Authenticity thrives in environments where you feel safe to be yourself. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who value and respect your true self is an important step. Seek out relationships with those who encourage your growth, accept you without judgment, and inspire you to embrace your individuality. Conversely, be mindful of distancing yourself from toxic or judgmental influences that make you feel the need to hide or suppress who you are. Practicing vulnerability is another key aspect of being real. Authenticity requires you to show up fully, even when it feels risky. This means sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences honestly with others, rather than hiding behind a facade of a facade. Vulnerability creates opportunities for deeper, more meaningful connections as it invites others to relate to you on a human level. While it may feel intimidating, vulnerability is often met with empathy and understanding, reinforcing the value of being true to yourself. Living authentically also involves aligning your actions with your words and beliefs. Consistency between what you say and what you do builds trust with yourself and others. When your behavior reflects your inner truth, you feel more confident and at peace with your choices. This might involve reevaluating aspects of your life, such as your career, relationships, or hobbies, to ensure they resonate with who you are and what you want out of life. Letting go of the need for external validation is another significant step. Being real means prioritizing your inner compass over others' opinions. While constructive feedback is valuable, the desire to please everyone can lead to compromising your authenticity. Focus on seeking validation from within by staying true to your values and embracing your unique journey. Trust that the right people will appreciate you for who you genuinely are. Lastly, practice self-compassion. The journey to authenticity isn't linear, and there will be moments when fear, self-doubt, or old habits resurface. When this happens, be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that growth takes time, and that every step, even the challenging ones, brings you closer to living authentically. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and remind yourself of the freedom and fulfillment that comes with being real. By taking these practical steps, self-awareness, self-acceptance, setting boundaries, cultivating supportive relationships, practicing vulnerability, aligning actions with values, letting go of external validation, and embracing self-compassion, you can gradually step into your authentic self. The process is not about perfection, but about progress. Each step brings you closer to a life of integrity, fulfillment, and genuine connection.